the gardener. Jackson.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Skinny Jean Gardener podcast, the best bits. And you know there are going to be some best bits when I tell you it's quite a long show this week. It's quite a long show. You may have to, if you're going to pop out into the garden and listen to this, you may have to do it in a couple of goes. If you're having a cup of tea, just sit back, relax, enjoy, because we have a great show coming up today. Great show, great interview, it's right, Ground Force Bingo, it returns, everyone, yes, with some quite surprising results. Tommy Walsh shocks us just a little bit, plus some great phone calls from the crew, which is always welcome, everyone, always welcome. Shall I talk? I tell you what, let's intro it, all right? Let's intro it, and then I'll tell you how I'm feeling, what's going on in the world, and yeah, 2021 team, 2021.
Facilia. Or Pacilia, if you just read it off there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on.
Oh, I can't hear you, Anon. I've done something wrong with the thing. Anyway, elephant poo is what I got.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Great, mate. Your signal is always terrible, but I'm good, my friend. Excuse me. You got an allotment? When I go, don't put artificial grass on top of me, all right?
Are you going to get composted, Lee?
Yeah,
Like I said, it's been a right roller coaster of emotions, everyone. A right roller coaster of emotions. First, let me say thanks very much for listening to the show. Big up to you. Respect. If you share it, make sure you give it a good old thumbs up. Share it to your mum, to your nan, to that person that you know on Facebook, but not quite sure how you know them. Maybe you didn't see them for about a year because of coronavirus. Share it to them. They'll be interested. I can't believe, right? It is March. We're coming up to March now. My birthday month, team. Just let you know. Just 11th, if you really want to know. 11th. Just let you know. I cannot believe we're in March. And I spent a lot of time thinking, well, I ain't got to sow no seeds yet. Like, take your time, chill out. I'm thinking about it now. It's happening. I mean, I keep promising Chili Friday, right? I keep promising week in, week out. It might bring Chili Friday back this week, guys. Might be finished. I feel like next week I've got to bring it back because it could be the Beddos will go crazy if I don't. Beddos will not be happy. I know Suggs has already done his. I get that. I understand, but we're gonna make that happen, team. That's gonna happen for sure. For sure, we're gonna get that. Seeds sown. It's been a weird week. I mean, over here in the UK, Boris announced when we were going to come out of this lockdown thing, and I don't. I'm usually, where is it? Even the positivity bell don't work. There it is. Usually, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm optimistic. Something did not feel right for me. It was I don't know what it was. Just was not feeling it. Tried to have a good mood Monday. That seemed to work. We've got some great calls from Good Mood Monday this week on the podcast. We had an amazing interview with Mike Palmer. That's why this show this week's so long, because it was such a good chat. We've had some amazing chats, don't get me wrong. Somehow Mike seemed to last an hour. So let me know if you enjoy this little bit of a longer podcast. I try and usually keep the interview a little bit shorter, but it was an hour long, so that's why it's a little bit longer this week's show. Great, really great. Felt really good coming off the back of that. Really pumped. Wednesday's show was good with a little bit of Ground Force Bingo, which I'm sure some of us are very happy is back. And then Thursday, my mind was not in the right place. I don't know what it was, everybody. I just didn't do a show. I could not do it. I could not muster up the excitement of being on a live with the lovely peeps, and yeah, we missed that one. Luckily, Mike covered it with some great content on that interview. Some really good stuff coming up on today's show. I'm excited for you to hear it. But hey, listen, everyone, I'm feeling better today. It was just one of those things. I think we all go through this time where we have our ups and downs, and that's absolutely fine. That's fine, everyone. Kids go back to school in the UK on Monday. Anyone? Huh? I'm excited. School plan stuff has been going pretty well. I'll be honest with you this week. I know I keep dropping it in to the podcast, but the school plan is really, it's been coming together for a while, but I've had some really good conversations about how brands can get involved. And that's the biggest thing at the moment. I'm being asked, it's that time of year. I mean, I'm usually asked a little bit earlier, but now people are sort of realizing, hopefully, that coronavirus is leaving us a bit. I don't know. I'm getting asked a lot, we want to do a campaign with you. And I'm like, yeah, school plan. And we have some good conversations about that to try and get some brands on board. If you want to get on board, lee@skinnyjeangunner.co.uk if you want to find out a bit more about how your brand can be part of it. But it's feeling and filling with me with much joy at the moment to be bringing that together. And not next week, the week after on the Best Of podcast, you'll be having a whole week of me talking about it. So I'm not going to rabbit on about it. That's why I drop it in at the start, but I'm not going to rabbit on about it too much because a whole podcast about it, a whole week's chat, we'll just about do it. All right, just about do it. But this week, very, very excited because it's just a great pod. It's just a great pod. I know some of you get in touch on the old socials and things like that. Thanks so much, everyone that does get in touch. I try and get back to as many people as possible without sitting on a computer all day, which feels like it's getting that way at the moment. But we've got the sun out at the moment, so I need to get out there with Olive and get amongst it. But yeah, I'll try and get back. Do keep dropping me messages. It is great to hear from you, and I'll try and get back to as many messages as possible, guys. As many messages as possible. Bit of Terry Wogan there as we talk about messages. But there we go. So yeah, everybody. If you want to, by the way, if you are listening to this, you want to get involved, like Suggs, like Beddoes, like Mr. Jackson. Then hit up the show Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. on my socials. You're very much welcome to watch along and check it out. But there we go. Yes, I don't know how you're feeling, peeps. Don't know how you're feeling. It's been another one of those weeks. I haven't got out in the garden as much as I wanted to. But seed sowing. That's me March resolution. Can you have a month revolution? Trying to get my seed sow on, pumped to get some sowing of seeds, get them on the windowsill, get them growing. That's what it's about. It's when you really know gardening has started. You see them little shoots of green pop up through the soil, and you get excited. You say, look at this, Olive. My little daughter, I'm like, hey, come and look at this. Come check this out. And she goes, oh, wow. And then walks off to go and play with her dolls. I was like, whoa. Come back. Don't leave me. Come check it out. And she said, I don't really care, Dad. I said, tell me when there's a tomato on it. I'm like, well, good things come to those who wait. Oh, dear. So, yeah, March, pumped for it, everyone. I hope you are too. Let me know what you've got planned. And we've got a great month coming up. But first, before that, it's enough of me rabbiting on. I always rabbit on at the start, right? Rabbit. We should probably get into it. So, without further ado, here's the best weeks of week. I don't know what week we're on. 7, 8, who knows? But enjoy. There he is.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Very good, thank you very much.
Yeah,
it's
do you
hot
know what?
here. I've chosen the hottest room of the house.
Well, I've chose the coldest room in the house as a bed. So there you go. I don't know.
What can you do?
Mike, I am trying to feel positive this week. I'm trying to get the buzz back, but I know that you are a very positive, outgoing, and charming young man.
Oh, I like the young bit. I'll take that. I'll take the positive bit as well. I am generally. I mean, we've all had sort of bad times during the last year, haven't we? It's been difficult.
It's been a weird one, isn't it?
Oh, it's just sort of like, and you try and keep going. And I have to say, sort of like the garden has been fantastic, but lockdown 3 has just been so different because it's been winter, it's dark, it's cold, it's wet. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough at times.
Not quite felt the same, this one, is it?
No, and I think sort of like when we first went into the first lockdown, it was the 23rd of March. It was spring, and pretty much all the way through into September, October time, the weather was okay.
Yeah, it felt
And
wicked.
it just made it sort of like bearable. It was not easy. It wasn't easy, but it was bearable. But yeah, sort of like October onwards.
Oh, help me. Help me now, Mike. Now. Mike, we only really met last year, and I don't really know if you were on social before last year. Can you?
I was on. I had a bit of a love-hate relationship with social media. I never really sort of, you're liking posts and people are liking your posts, and you just start to think, well, what's it all about? So it was a bit of a love-hate relationship. I did Instagram, I did a little bit of Twitter, and a little bit of Facebook. And then when we came to lockdown, the first one, I saw somewhere on social media, actually it was Instagram, I saw 2 guys from the Great British Bake Off. They were 2 of the runners-up, and they were doing this live Instagram thing. And it was like car crash TV. It was appallingly bad, but there was something really compelling about it. I just couldn't help but watch. And there were like 400 people watching this. And all they were doing is they were making a cake. And yeah, but I did think, I think I can do that. And then probably about 2 weeks later, we went into lockdown, and then I saw someone else on social media saying, garden's going to be closed. Share your gardens on social media, #ShareYourGarden.
Yeah.
And so the Bake Off thing on Instagram, this Share Your Garden, there's sort of like 2 were buzzing around my head all week. And I thought, I want to do this live Instagram thing. And I kept putting it off. And it got to the Friday. And I thought, just press the button and do it. And I did. Friday, the 27th of March, I pressed the button on Instagram, went live. 6 people stumbled across me by mistake. I was on for about 15 minutes, camera pointed firmly at the garden. I came off and I thought, that was okay. I was really surprised that there was anybody there. And then the next week I thought, I'll do it again. And here we are, sort of like 45, 46 weeks later. And I've done it every week, apart from 2 weeks over Christmas when I took a break.
Take a break.
But yeah, sort of like suddenly I became this sort of like social media animal.
I like it. How have you found it? How have you found the social media world? Because I feel like sometimes, like you said, it's a love-hate relationship. I have exactly the same feeling. What's your vibe report from it, mate?
It's sort of like I have to say, gardeners are the best bunch of people anyway. I've always said that, even before sort of like the social media thing. They're really generous with their time and their knowledge. And coming onto social media, obviously being a gardener, it was gardeners and designers who were sort of like I was following and they were following back. So yeah, by and large, it's been pretty good. But there's always somebody that will sort of like just ruin the party, but you just get rid of them. You just block them. And I always think if you put yourself in this situation, if you put yourself in front of people, there's going to be somebody that's going to say something that you probably wouldn't want them to say, but just block them. It's sort of water off a duck's back, really. I think you have to be, if you're going to be in it, you've got to play the game.
I know what you mean, mate. I've got a guy called Ian Beddoes that watches every night, and I've been trying to get rid of him for ages. But I need the viewers, so yeah.
He's on tonight, I take it.
Oh, he's always about. Before all this, obviously, you weren't some sort of Instagram, like you say, animal. You were. This is the thing. So before I come across your stuff, I didn't really know any much about your background. I'd love to hear more about it, mate. There's a lot to talk about before lockdown started. How did you get into gardening to begin with?
I was probably 6 or 7 years old. My parents were gardeners. They used to love, I mean, we're going back to the 1960s, 70s. My parents had a garden. They loved roses. And I remember the first garden that we had as a family, it was roses all around the main part of the garden. And then at the back, opposite the shed, there was a 2 by 3 meter square plot of land that just was doing nothing. And I remember saying to my parents, can I make a garden in this little bit of wasteland? I mean, it's like a box almost. It was so small. But I wanted to make a garden. And I did. I put grass seed down, I put bulbs in, I put plants in. So that was 6, 7 years old. I made my first garden. And yeah, it's just, I mean, when did you make your first garden?
26, mate. I really every time I talk to someone on here, it's like, oh yeah, I started when I was young, and I never did any garden when I was younger. So I come like 26, rocking into gardening, not really knowing anything. So I get really jealous of people like you, mate, that especially like managed to pretty much design their own garden at 7 years old.
Well, I just put some grass down. It wasn't really a design.
That's all it is, mate, right?
Yeah, I designed a garden. I was 6 years old. And then the next thing, they asked me to go to the Chelsea Flower Show, and I was 8.
Yeah. Exactly. What was the progression? Was it? That weren't the progression.
It certainly wasn't. No. Well, to be fair, I sort of like had this sort of flying start, and then you go through your teenage years. It wasn't cool to be sort of like gardening. I was gardening at home with my parents until I left home, and then I got my first house, and then I had my first garden of my own, and it was, well, I need to do something here. But there was the work thing. I worked in an office, so it was busy, it was pressurized, but the garden was still a release. And I still enjoyed doing it. And then I thought, actually, I'd like to learn more. So I started reading and learning more about plants, and then eventually got myself to Horticultural College, Kingston Moorwood in Dorchester. Did that in evening sort of school, really, and weekends. And a lot of it I self-taught myself, because it was a long way to go from where I live. And yeah, the next thing was I got to sort of like RHS level 3. Yeah, and it was difficult because I'd been out of school for a few years, so getting back into the learning thing was difficult initially. Yeah, but I guess because you've got that passion, you want to learn about it. And yeah, I loved every single minute of it. Wow. But I was the only one on the course who wasn't already in horticulture. They were all sort of like gardeners, designers, landscapers. And there was me poodling along, coming from an office background.
Do you find that you were a bit more inquisitive than other people because of that?
Possibly. I really did have a hunger to learn. And my first tutor was a guy, do you know David Hurrian?
Yeah, he was your tutor.
He was my tutor.
No way.
And I remember, because the course was actually booked up. When I first inquired about it, they said, we've started, we're 2 weeks in, there's nowhere sort of like left on the course. I said, I'll sit on the floor. Please, please, please let me do this course. And I banged on so much that this woman, in the end, she just said, fine, you can go. And I walked up, and it was David Hurrian, who I didn't know at that point. Yeah. And he was just fantastic. I had a knowledge to learn, and he was just the best tutor. He really was. And that just fired my enthusiasm even more.
Like, he's a legend.
He is. And he's I think he's the associate editor of Gardener's World magazine now, and does a lot of their sort of like Gardener's World how-to videos for the magazine. And yeah, he is. He's a legend. I was so lucky to have sort of like had him as my first tutor.
How how many years? So, excuse my I don't know what the word is, but I don't really know how long it takes to complete these RHS levels.
I think I did mine in about 4.5 years, possibly 5.
Wowza. It's not.
It wa-
I don't think it's that bad, or that's quite. It's quite a lot of investment in something that at the time is not your main job.
Yeah, it was. And what I was actually doing is in my lunch hours, I was going down, rather than having lunch, I was sat in one of the meeting rooms, genning up on my plant names. And yeah, it was a hard slog,
Yeah.
but I wanted to do it. So
where how did you progress from there onto
well,
gardening?
I was, just to say, I was the only one on the course who wasn't in gardening. So when I got the level 3, I just went back to my boss and I said, I want to leave. And they didn't want me to leave. And I was lucky, they didn't want me to leave. So we reached this compromise. I would work mornings. I worked 8 till 1:30 in the office. And in the afternoon, I'd go out gardening and designing.
What was your job?
I was a trainer. I was a management trainer.
Really?
Yeah. And I look back on that now. And if you had said to any of my friends, family, or work colleagues at that time, this guy will go out gardening, they would have all shook their heads and said, there's no way. And now I look back and think, if somebody said to me, go and work in an office, there's no way. I just couldn't do it. I don't know how I did it for as many years as I did. And that was it. I went part-time. I sort of gardened and designed in the afternoons. But the rot set in.
Yeah.
As soon as I was doing the gardening, in the morning when I was in the office, I was writing out planting lists for people and doing designs on the back of a piece of paper and hoping one was a...
Did you start up yourself?
Yeah.
Or did you work for someone else? Oh, you started up yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
I started up on my own, yeah.
That's quite a big jump.
Yeah, it's scary because you go from the comfort of having a paid income to having to go out and earn money yourself. And of course, on a rainy day, there's no income, there's no money coming in. So yeah, completely different sort of way of thinking, different way of working. But I was so happy from the moment I walked out the office at sort of 1:30. It was like, it was just so easy.
Oh, you are here, Jodie.
Yes, it is.
Hello, I'm
Hi.
Charlie.
Nice to meet you.
Where is he? Tommy? No. Where's Willie? Willie's here? No, not where's I've got his book to sign and everything. Oh, got some bad news about that.
I just want to go around the back.
This is Jodie.
Hello.
We're too
Is he? No, he's not here.
unclean to go through
I'll
the
meet you
house.
around the other side.
All right then.
She didn't actually say that, did she? Thought you look like dirty. You're not coming in.
That's not good. Oh, this is nice. I like the arches. Lots of people. And
Yeah.
Rule of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Just hiding.
Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. And this is my friend Nicola. Hello.
I do not believe, right? Even though now Titch Marshal's gone, Willie still doesn't get a look in. Doesn't even get introduced. That's just rude.
Hi, Tommy. And it's my Auntie Carol.
Oh, Auntie Carol.
And then Auntie Heather at the back.
Hello, Auntie Heather. How are you?
Hello, Will.
And then Uncle Jeff.
Oh, everyone's giving him a little bit of acknowledgement. though. He's getting a handshake. Does anyone think this shot is weird? There are all these handshakes had going on. Can we just get a close up of the handshakes, please?
Uncle Jeff.
All right.
I see you got the shorts on, Jeff.
I certainly have. I thought I'd make the effort.
Who's Kirsty? Did he say just a Kirsty? Is she now a person in this? More than Willie?
Well, let's go and have a look at the garden. Come on. Is this it?
Wow. Got some work to do, boys and girls.
there a back entrance in here?
No, there isn't, no.
Well, they got all this rubbish tipped in here then.
Years of planning and experience.
Look at this.
What a state! I mean, what a state! Titchmarsh used to help people that actually like gardening. This lot, I mean, I've seen better rubbish tips.
Tell us who we're surprising, Jodie.
I was surprised
The neighbours.
my mum. She's away at the minute.
Yeah. So where is she away at?
She's gone to Leeds to a health spa to get pampered with my Auntie Penny.
And do we know what she wants? What she'd like?
Anything. Anything. Just go and cut the grass would be fine. She'll be happy with anything. She's not going to come back and go, I cannot believe what you've done. Where's my polystyrene gone? I've had that out there for years waiting to... Anything.
Out in the garden?
I think she'd like a Mediterranean type feel.
Oh, so would I. Wish I was
A low maintenance garden because obviously she's not a very keen gardener.
You don't say.
As you can see.
What a surprise. There we go.
So what we've done is we've sort of come up with this sort of idea.
Oh,
It literally could have just been a picture of a lawnmower, couldn't it? What we're going to do is the Irish one here. We can't say his name for legal reasons, but the Irish one is going to get the lawnmower. Doesn't have to be the Irish one. It could be Tommy. It's not. Or the woman. It's either not just. I'm just. All I'm saying is him. This one. We can't say his name because we refuse to. He's going to get a lawnmower and he's going to go round this garden for a few hours. And we're just gonna watch and then we're done. Advert Lee here saying hello, how you doing? Hope you're enjoying the show. Now, you know when you're walking down the street and you say, cool mate, you're looking pretty cool, you must be wearing a t-shirt. Yeah, probably one of these. And you go, good t-shirt mate, good t-shirt. Well, tonight I'm asking you to support the show by going, good show, mate. Good. Well, if you listen to the podcast, obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing a thumbs up. Good show, mate. Good show. And you can do it too right here by giving the video a good old thumbs up, a good old share to your mum, to your nan, whoever is your friends on Facebook or in YouTube or whatever, and go and subscribe. That's what you can do. If you're listening on the podcast, you can share the audio. But just share the show. It supports Lee more than anything. Thumbs up. Yeah, I feel like I know that feeling because I used to be an electrician back in the day, and I did exactly that. I went part-time, and the days that I knew that I was the last day of my electrical work, and then the next day I was going to go and do gardening stuff. It's like excited. So I know I feel that feeling.
Yeah, and I think I knew I was in the right place after all those years of being cosseted in an office and having to do the suit thing, and I used to get changed when I finished my morning shift. I'd go into the loo, get changed into my gardening gear, and nip down the back stairs and hope I didn't bump into anybody. And if I did bump into somebody, it was like, "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" And people just don't like seeing somebody out of their usual get-up. So it was, but I was as happy as Larry as soon as I got my gardening gear on. I was off.
Like a gardening Superman. You walk into the toilet and come back.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It was bizarre.
At what point did you decide to go full time then?
I was made redundant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 8 years after I went part-time, I went into the office one morning and there was lots of whispering going on. And my boss came away from a meeting. I could see in his face something serious was up.
Yeah.
And I got on really well with him. He took me to one side and said, "It's the end, it's over." And I was like, yes,
Oh, you were good about it.
But of course, I had sort of like colleagues who I worked with who, for them, it was not going to be a good thing. So I had to sort of sit there and bite my tongue. And sure enough, at lunchtime, we were taken to a meeting and told that we were all being made redundant. And that for me was just like the best thing.
Yeah. And we obviously so you did 8 years part-time. Wow, man. That's a long time part-time doing gardening.
Yeah, it was. And as I say, the rot set in as soon as I went part-time. I knew that I didn't want to be in an office anymore. Actually, it might not have been 8 years. It must have been less than that. It must have been. But yeah, that's how it happened.
And so did you do a lot of design work then? Like,
Yeah,
where did that done?
Before that, I'd gone to art college and I did illustration and graphic design. So the two disciplines, sort of the gardening and the graphic design, sort of came together. And I did design on the RHS course as a module. And yeah, I just seemed to have a bit of I won't say a flair, but I could design. I could design a garden and put plants together. So that's where the design came from.
When you went full time, like, what happened from there? Like,
what, full time with the gardening?
Yeah.
Well, I was because I was part time. You know how sort of like you do a job, you get people referrals, and I was having to turn work away because I was only working 4 to 5 hours in the afternoon. But I was working. Then I started working weekends. Then when the design work started to come in, I was doing that in the evenings. So it was really sort of full on work. So then when I did go full time with the gardening, I was quickly able to absorb the work that I'd been doing in the evenings and at the weekends to make it a full-time job.
Just slightly more relaxed.
Yeah, it did mean that I didn't have to be working at silly o'clock designing a garden and then sort of like waking up the next morning, go to work for sort of like 4.5, 5 hours, then go out gardening, then go designing again. It did give me a little bit of a life back.
Yeah. Now, mate, I looked up about you on your website, and not
there's not much there.
Not as detailed as you ever would. It says, right? It says you used to be Carol Klein's gardener.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's again, that was through David. When David's still working for Gardeners World magazine, and he knew that I was a massive fan of Carol's, and I kept sort of saying, can I come down one day and sort of like just hold the camera bags or something, or just do the admin, or do the running around making coffees? And he kept saying, I'll see what I can do, and that never happened. Then one day he phoned and said, Carol's looking for a gardener, would you be interested? Of course I would be. And it didn't happen. And I was so disappointed. And then the following year, the same conversation came around again. David phoned about sort of February time. Carol was looking for a garden. I went, yeah, okay. And he said, yeah, she's going to call you. Yeah, okay. And this one day, my phone kept ringing. And every time I picked it up, there was nobody there. Oh, that's really strange. Didn't think anything of it until I got home in the evening and the phone rang again. And it was Carol Klein on the phone. And you just know it's Carol Klein, don't you? The voice is just so distinctive. And I'm like, and she just said she needed some help in the garden. She was very sort of careful about what she was committing to. Would you like to come down for a couple of days and see how we get on? And I mean, it's a 3-hour trip from where I am here in Bournemouth down to Carol's, literally 3 hours. I left at 6 a.m, got there at the stroke of 9. And the first day that I got there, she was doing a photo shoot for Gardeners World magazine. Right. So her husband met me, took me into the cottage, and it's just really bizarre. And the photographer, I don't know if you know Jason Ingram.
Yeah.
He's the photographer, and I knew him. It's like, oh, hello there, what are you doing here? And then all of a sudden you can hear her voice. She comes down the stairs. She's all made up. And it's just like, oh, this is surreal. It really was. And so she set me to work, and then they got on with their photo shoot. And I spent the first day just gardening and just looking around like, oh my goodness me, it's like some crazy dream. And then I stayed the night, sat in there, had a meal with them both. And then the next morning she came out and she was Carol at home. So different to the Carol you see on the TV sort of in terms of appearance. And I couldn't remember a single plant name when she came out. I just went completely like, ooh. You know, she's looking at Verbena bonariensis, and I'm like,
I love that.
But of course, you know, you get your mojo back, and she was just absolutely wonderful. She really was. It was just such a fantastic experience. Yeah, I stayed in the caravan. They had this little caravan to the side of the garden. But of course, when you turn up, I knew the garden from the books and the TV, and when you sort of like turned up in my van and went down, it's like, oh my God, this is Carol Klein's garden, the garden I've seen on TV and seen in all these books that I love.
That is such bizarre thing to happen from watching someone on telly for so long and then end up being the actual gardener. Yeah, and sort of like where I'd said to David, can I just come down and hold the camera bags, to actually be there gardening. And I'd maybe do 2 or 3 days at a time, come back home and go down sort of like every 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, it was amazing. Right then, everybody. Now, I'm just deconstructing Joe Wicks's garden right now.
Oh, the new garden he's got.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at it then.
Oh yeah, you can see right there. Oh, hang on. Here you go, mate. Right, you ready? I'm going to play the video, okay?
Oh, right. Go on then.
What's up?
Very common.
Yeah, everyone's got them nowadays, isn't they?
Everybody's got an outdoor shower.
I'm sure James got one. Is that it? Is that it?
I just think I would have put a screen so that you couldn't see the hot tub from the top of the house. You know, that you've got to go down and turn a corner and then you see it. And what's that gypsy shed he's got?
I think it's a steam room.
No gardening's going to go on there then. Was that grass actually grass or was it plastic?
It better not been, because I'm pretty sure, right? Last time he had a house, he was going to put I don't think it's plastic. He's got a I mean, have you seen this full size garden? It is massive. You got a new cup, mate.
Is that just a bit? That's just a bit of it, is it?
That's it. That's all it shows on there. There's some other pictures. Do you want to see some other pictures?
All that money. See, you can't buy style, can you?
No. There he is, mate. All right, I want one. Right, this is a really good idea. Right,
I actually think I prefer that bath. Put a bit of mint in that bath; it'd look lovely.
No. This is what I don't want to get a copper bath, right, for my garden, but I've always had this idea of having a bath outside. Not full of plants, but like having a bath outside.
I saw somebody on YouTube and they had a bath outside and they built a fire that went underneath it. And they lit the fire, they got in it, and they said it was nice and toasty warm. Problem was the fire got too hot and they had to jump out, otherwise it would have been boiled.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, there's no way of controlling that, right? Like I've seen them hot tubs that you can get where you stoke it by fire. Like what stops it? Maybe you pour cold water in it. I don't know.
Not sure.
I don't know. Anyway, I want to get a bath that sits outside. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet.
Well, I'm looking forward to. I saw the roadmap this evening.
Yeah.
My view is it's just a roadmap to keep people quiet. And come April, it'll be pushed on to July and August again. But I wouldn't mind going to visit a garden.
No, he didn't say that. It's Good Mood Monday.
I'm getting a bit fed up of seeing my own garden, so I don't know which garden I'll go and visit. Maybe a bit of Wisley,
Yeah,
or even go up to the Essex garden. What's that? What's Hyde Hall?
Hyde Hall's good. That's a nice big. It's
The
massive.
problem with Hyde Hall is well, it's not a problem if you came along, but it's a problem if you get public transport. Because you get to the train station, but it's still about 4 miles to get to the actual garden.
Are you inviting me to Hyde Hall just so I can give you a lift there?
Well, get out and see a few faces. I want to go and see the what's it called, the World Kitchen Garden there, because the last time I was at Hyde Hall, I was invited up to see the garden. I got there, and it was just a field. They said you're getting the exclusive. You're seeing the garden before it's built.
Are you joking?
No, there's a video on my channel, and I went there and I spoke to what's his name? My mind's gone blank now.
Matt Oliver.
Yes, I spoke to him, and he stood there, literally with diggers behind him. And I said, "Oh, how long have you been doing this project?" He said, "Oh, today's the first day."
It's so amazing then.
I haven't been back since, just because it's a pain in the wheelbarrow to get to if you haven't got a car.
Yeah, it's an amazing garden, right? It's an amazing allotment. The only thing is, right, it's good, but it obviously goes in a circle.
Yes,
which Matt said is quite difficult to try and get straight lines and know how to plant up. Huh?
With a greenhouse in the middle.
Yeah, massive round green. So, don't get me wrong, it's incredible looking.
Yes, because I've been ill the last few days, so I've been in the house, and I've been planning my allotment about where things are going to go, where my potatoes are going. And I did have that thing of, yes, a triangular bed looks good on a video, but how do you put in 6 rows of potatoes? Which way do you put the potatoes
exactly.
to match in order to match the triangle?
So top tip there, mate. Don't make triangular beds.
Well, my gardening by the moon experiment has gone a bit up in the air at the moment because I put 1 row of garlic and onions, another row of garlic and onions. One was done in accordance to the moon. The other one was done not in accordance to the moon. The experiment was going really well till last weekend. A fox got in, and now all the bulbs are in the middle of the bed. And I don't know which ones were on the moon and which ones weren't. So I got to start from scratch again.
Bit of a problem. Can you not have a totally separate area for this garden and by the moon thing?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, when I put in like a row of carrots, if I want a 12-foot row of carrots, I'll put 6 foot in on a good day, and then 6 foot in on a bad day, and then it'll be easier to see on the video which side won the battle.
Won the battle. Well, good luck, mate.
It's surprising. A lot of people on the allotment site are suddenly getting on board with this idea.
Yeah.
And I've had quite a few people, I was going to say come up to me then, but as is the sense of 2 meters apart and shouting, shouting their COVID over. And so there's a lot of people getting involved with it.
Well, that's good. That's good news, mate. You're converting people.
Well, Charles Dowding had to start somewhere, didn't he?
That's it. You should always. Is this? Why do you keep showing me this cup for? Is this like a new? Is this like
because I'm having a cup of tea.
Oh,
this was a cup that was sent to me by a viewer.
Oh, so that
don't stress me out. See?
Oh, I read it as mate white. It's a great cup, mate. Thanks for showing us. Good mood. He's good mood Monday. We'll let that one slip.
It's a cat.
It's brilliant, mate. It's
So which garden would you like to visit once the lockdown ends?
I'd like to go to Wisley again. Same as you. I also like. Do you know where I'd actually like to go back to? Is Halligan Gardens.
Oh, I've never been there.
Oh, it is good.
And a place I want to go to, and I didn't realize it was so close to my house, is and I need to say this slowly because I get the names mixed up. Charles Darwin's house is not too far away. And I saw a talk on Zoom the other week about Charles Darwin's greenhouse.
Right.
I've got to say it though, because I spoke to somebody the other day and I said, oh yes, I was speaking to Charles Darwin on the phone the other week. and then whenever I talk about Charles Darwin, I keep on saying Charles Darwin. That's what the lockdown does to you.
I was going to say, that is lockdown for you, mate. Oh, well, I don't know. There you go, mate. Well, I hope you're feeling better, dude.
Yes. I just had a bit of a ME attack on the weekend. And yeah, won't go into detail. Keep the mood up.
Keep that up. I'm glad you're better, though, mate. I hope you're feeling good.
Well,
Mr. Cameron?
Let's have a look at what the news is then.
There ain't no other news.
That's called a professional segue for you to put me off and start talking about something else. So what's in the news then?
Now. To be fair, I did not expect that to be the mum. Oh, you're so gardenistly. Well, because you saw someone's garden, you just assumed what they'd be like.
Well, now, this opening has taken so long, I'm a bit emotional. So could I have a cup of tea before we start work?
Yeah, of course you can.
Good man. Good man.
Let's get the tools out.
Was it? I think it might have been Willie that did the lawnmower, actually. But anyway, that'd be it. I'd be done. See you later. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Suggs. You could burn that, couldn't you? But skip it for now. It's good. Good. Firewood, that fence panel. They got it always down that alleyway. It's tight fit, isn't it? What? There's a lot of stuff in this carton.
It's the
Oh, Skipworth.
first cup of the day. See?
Watch the snail.
They'll find their way back, don't worry. They have this homing instinct, snails.
What just happened?
It was holding production up.
What just happened? What? Hang on, let me just call the RSPB up. Hello? I'm just calling you because about 10 years ago I was watching a program with Tommy Walsh on it, and yeah, he trod on a snail. It wasn't a slug, but does that make a difference? It's got a shell on its back. A shell. No, not me shell. A shell. He trod in it. Yeah, I suppose it was the 90s, but that's not really excusing it, is it? No, forget it. That was unexpected. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's horrible. Have we got a barrow?
A barrow? A tub or a barrow?
Look, I've done so well to take all this. I've got my urn. My urn.
Is it a whole accent, that, is it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, horrible.
Oh my God.
All for me.
1, 2, 3. I'm a weekly.
Probably about a half hour worth of just clearing the place.
Yay!
these two are absolutely buzzing about this, aren't they? They're just happy to get rid of free skip. Yeah, all right.
Yes, we did it. Have you come from St Mary's?
Of course we have. Yes,
We've got some presents for Tommy and Charlie from St Mary's School.
And Willie. Anyone? Come on. This is not right, man. Willie's an important part of this. If we don't get Charlie on this year, we'll get Willie on.
School dinners in the world. Easy for you, but not all of them.
Oh, look at this. Look at now.
Oh, I'm starving tonight. Starving.
Let me see. Can I take anyone I like?
You can take it. They're all as gorgeous as each other. And this young lady over there that's hiding, she made them.
Did you?
And come on, you
Come
made
on.
them.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Do you know, it's true when they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
And Alan, is he hiding somewhere? Is he? Is he little Alan? Where is? Oh, he's not on it anymore. Oh.
God, this must have been written by J.K. Rowling, mustn't it? Oh no, by Lee, the skinny jean gardener, How to Get Kids Gardening book. I tell you what, it's an absolute awesome read, and you should get your hands on it. It's on offer right now. Go click the link. You know. Go click the link in the comments or in the description. You get your hands on it. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, that Sam from Sam and Mark says, oh, Lee's passion for gardening is infectious. Probably shouldn't say that word at the moment. It's not the best. In fact, you don't want to be saying you're infectious. Because it's, yeah, probably wear a mask around it. But it's that good. It's infectious. Go get your hands on one right now. Right now. We're at the end of the minute. Right now.
Mike, have you ever done any show gardens before?
Any?
Show gardens?
No, I haven't.
Would you like to?
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to have a go at doing that. I really would. That would just be a fantastic sort of opportunity. I've got that sort of design sort of flair and the planting and that. Yeah.
What sort of shows do you enjoy visiting?
I do Chelsea, Hampton Court. We have a show locally, the New Forest show.
Right.
Yeah, it'd probably be good for me to sort of like cut my teeth with a local show and a smaller garden. But yeah, I'd definitely be up for the challenge. Have you done one?
Oh, I don't like talking about it.
Yeah, go on. Come on, tell us all about it.
I don't know. I've designed gardens in Japan. I've designed gardens in London. That's about it. But
have you really done Japan?
Yeah, we did. When I first started gardening randomly, I did a show garden at the International Flower Show.
Okay.
In Nagasaki.
Yeah. So when was that?
Oh, quite a few years ago, mate. 2015, I think it was 2015, because my daughter was just been born. I was like, I'm off to Japan. See you later.
So how long were you out there for?
Oh, I went right. It's such a weird. I don't really like talking about it. I do really. It's about you really tonight. Quick
I'm in my
right?
comfort zone now, asking you the questions.
Quick story, right? Basically, we designed a garden. We were going over there. We designed a garden. It was all about Britain, but we had a team over there that was given to us in a weird, strange way, and they were building it, right? So over about 3 weeks, every single day, I was getting photos back of this garden being built, and they're saying, "Is this all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And then we went over for like a week. We rocked up there, and basically we planted a few plants, signed stuff off, and that was it. It was so actually that's a lie. We didn't plant any plants. We rocked up there, went to go and get our hands messy, and they were lovely people. Don't get me wrong, they're lovely people over there. But they're like, no, you don't touch plants. We'll do it for you. So me and my brother just stood there and pointed where we wanted plants.
Wow, that's the way to do it.
bizarre experience. But
Can
yeah,
you imagine
good.
me rocking up at the Chelsea Flower Show doing the Chelsea Garden? Where's my staff to put the plants in?
Well, that's it. That's why I'll never do a Chelsea flower show, just because you can't get the staff over here.
You don't want dirty hands, do you?
Yeah. Did you used to obviously before last year? Did you used to visit a lot of shows, or was it just really Hampton and
It
Chelsea?
was just really Hampton and sort of Chelsea.
Yeah.
Anything north of Ringwood, it's too far for me to go.
Yeah.
You know, London's sort of like an expedition.
Yeah. You're not
It's
that
sort of
far.
like. I know. Oh, actually, no. That's a lie. I used to do the NEC as well, Birmingham Gardens World Live.
Oh, it's a good little show. That was good little. It's not little, is it?
Well,
But
it's
a good
massive,
show,
isn't it? Yeah.
Did you just used to visit there, or did you do anything else there?
No. Again, good old Mr. Hurrian phoned up a few years ago and said, "Would you like to come and give me a hand at Gardens World Live?" And I just said yes. I didn't have a clue what I was going to be doing. And it was just like building the Gardeners World Live stage and the set that they use. And so I did that a couple of times. Just, God, I tell you what, you work. I remember the end of the first day. I was just like a zombie. I was the Walking Dead, walking. But you keep going because it's just a fantastic experience.
Yeah, one of the things that I've realised doing gardening, and you may feel this as well. Although I don't know how much you loved your job beforehand, but getting up in the morning and doing my old job, I was like, oh. But getting up in the morning, and I mean, not through this lockdown, it's a nightmare with homeschooling. I'll be honest with you, Mike. But before the world of homeschooling, I used to get up in the morning. I had so much energy because I was doing something that I loved and had passion for.
Yeah.
You find that?
Yeah, definitely. It's just so easy. I mean, I used to get up, say 5 o'clock to go to Carol's. It wasn't a problem. I would work as many hours as was needed. There were some days when, on the day I was coming home from Carol's, I would maybe leave the garden at 7, having been up at 6. Drive home for 3 hours. It wasn't a problem. It's because you love doing it.
So you get that energy boost from somewhere just to make sure you.
Yeah, it just keeps you. I don't know where you get it from, but it's there, isn't it? It's
yeah. You've recently waltzed into the work. Literally waltzed after seeing your dancing the other day on Instagram. quite a dancer, mate.
That's not my fault. I am blaming someone else for that.
Okay.
Somebody sent me a note or sent a note out on social media to say that I'd be putting a bit of sunshine in people's lives with my 10 o'clock live on a Sunday morning. And I just found myself getting my sunglasses out, getting a knotted handkerchief. I haven't got a knotted handkerchief. I knotted up a handkerchief and got the sun cream out and just found myself pressing the button at 10 o'clock and jigging along to Katrina and the Waves, walking on sunshine and making a complete arse of myself.
Well, what a way to start a Sunday, mate. That's the best
But strangely
thing.
enough, I mean, to be fair, a lady joined me on that Sunday, Sheila. She's probably watching, and she was fantastic. She contacted me about her garden. What can I do about this back border? And I said, well, come and have a chat with me on the Sunday. So, but it's the most viewed Sunday live that I've done in 45 weeks.
So what you're saying, we're expecting to see more dancing over the next.
Yeah, you wait till this Sunday. I've got a trick up my sleeves.
What I was going to say was you've waltzed into the whole the world of podcasts this year.
I have, and whose fault was that?
Might have been mine.
It was absolutely. I said you said to me, I think after our live, you said something about podcasting. You ought to do it. Yeah. And I thought, I'd gone through this steep learning curve with Instagram and it's like doing the lives and that. I thought, oh God, do I really want to do that? And I'd listened to your podcast. I thought, actually, yeah, no, it'd be really good to do that. So yeah, thank you, Lee. It's completely down to you that I've done that.
That's the nicest way anyone said. If that idiot can do it, then.
Well, whatever. I have got you to thank for that, and you are so good at doing this. And just to sort of like to have you say, why don't you give it a go? I was well chuffed, and yeah, it took me a little while to get my act together because it's just like, how do you start? Who do you speak to? But I was really lucky that a girl who I've known for years was a sound producer. And she worked, I know, and she works for a local sort of university, and she was made redundant, sadly, in September. And she just said, I'll help you. So Jo Tyler's just been fantastic. She's guided me through. She was obviously doing the stuff behind the scenes to start with. But the fifth one, which I'm just editing now, I'm pretty much doing it myself. So thank you, Lee. It was the kick up the backside I needed.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I do. I mean, Joe did the hard work by sounds of it. I just said, yeah, do it.
Yeah, but it was more than that. It was like you actually sort of said, I think you'd be good at doing this. So so I have.
Yeah, well, you put the work into these interviews, man. Like you proper, like I look at your website and then we just, but you like put proper research and stuff into it.
Yeah, I think so. Was the first time you saw me when I interviewed Lucy Stark, She Grows Veg?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and
because I remember when you're doing those, I hardly ever look at the comments because you're so busy concentrating on what the people are saying. But I saw something that you had written came up, sort of like, "Oh, you're like a detective." Yeah, and then the very next day, just by coincidence, I was out walking a friend's dog. And you were on doing a live yourself. And I think you must have said, oh, hi. And I sort of said, oh, come and have a chat. And of course you did. And I did a little bit of homework. But I do like to try and find out as much as I can about the people. Because maybe it's probably the same for you. How many of the people who you talk to have you actually met? You've probably met quite a few of them, haven't you?
I mean, there was quite a few that I've met. And there's also quite a few I've not. The reason I like doing this, and I mean, I just like finding out about people, man. I like finding out people's stories, and very much like yourself. But you're really good at it. Like the research you put into it, I think is amazing.
Well, I suppose there's two schools of thought. I guess you don't have to do any research because by asking questions, you're going to find out. But I suppose because I don't know any of the people who I've interviewed. Well, a couple maybe I do. I want to try and get to know them as best as I possibly can beforehand. I'll try and see if there's a video of them talking or a podcast, just to see how chatty they are and how many questions you need to have ready. Because the worst thing must be when you get somebody that just doesn't talk and you're there like, oh, what am I going to say?
I'll generally start talking about myself then, you'll know. Then we got the long answer for the Japan chat.
But I remember sort of like I spoke to Matt Biggs, and Matt, you can just ask one question, and sort of like Matt's absolutely so lovely. He was we did two chats. Yeah. We did one on the Friday and one on the Monday because we sort of like we got cut off after about an hour, and there was so much more that Matt wanted to talk about and so much that I wanted to ask him. So he said, "Oh, should we do another one on Monday?" And it's like, yeah, brilliant.
He's brilliant, Matt. I love it.
Yeah.
We had everyone for the second time last year, and we started talking about all pirate gardeners and all sorts of things. He can wind Matt up, and away he goes. Yeah,
but he's just so lovely. He was, and again, I haven't really met apart from Jason Ingram and Ellen Mary, who I bumped into a garden media event this time last year. I've not actually met anybody who I've spoken to. But it's what a privilege. I've really so enjoyed sort of like this last year.
I'll tell you what the loot is after this guy.
Hello, mate.
How you doing, you right?
Yeah, I'm awesome. Absolutely awesome today.
Look at you, mate. You're beaming positivity and radiance. You look amazing, mate.
I know. I've had a brilliant day today.
Oh.
I got over I had a migraine after last night's show, so wasn't good. Early night.
Not the worst review I've ever spent an hour with me.
Sorry?
So it's not the worst review of someone's ever give me for having an hour with me?
It started before you, but you carried me last night.
Go on, mate. Why are you feeling so chipper?
I've got to admit, it's because of this announcement Boris has made that we're on our way out of this lockdown. I know it's still early days, but it's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's just got me all going now. It's got me all lifted. Yeah. There's still about 3 months before my customers actually go back to work, so I'm still going to be bored for the next 3 months, but there's something to go.
Yes. It's positive. I mean, I love your positivity. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna say nothing. No, there's no but.
You sure? It feels like there's a but going on there.
Good mood Monday.
Good mood Monday. Bing.
Good mood Monday. Yeah, I mean, it was very positive. Feeling good, mate. Feeling good. At least we've got dates now, right? So we could potentially. What you say? Did you say earlier that we could potentially see each other at end of March? Maybe
end of March. You can meet up to, or 6 people can meet up outside, or 2 families, depending on how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, beginning of April. That's sort of when that and travel restrictions, i.e., you can leave your area, don't apply then either. Although they're still urging you to try and be a bit, what's the word, delicate about it. But then end May the 17th, pubs and restaurants are going to open again, which is when people can start coming indoors as well. So
doesn't feel very real, does it? It feels very strange.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe how excited we are today, thinking that we can have people around for Amanda's birthday. You know,
it's it is exciting, man. It is exciting. I mean, misses my birthday, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's right. There you go.
But I'm a miserable sod, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I wanted to see anyone anyway, so it doesn't matter. But what? Hey, right. So anyway, right. Actually, lucky you're in here. You're here. You got 5 minutes?
Yeah, of course. Always for you.
Oh, cheers, man. So actually, it's funny. It's good you brought this up because I wanted to quickly run through the different parts of this year to see what difference it makes to our lives in the gardening world.
Okay.
Yeah, brace yourself. It's pretty flimsy night tonight. So, but it's the best I've got, right? So, hang on. Oh, mate, you can't see this, but my screen's going crazy right there. Boom. Has it worked? Yeah, right. Boom. Right. So let me get this up on the share screen. Ready?
Okay. I'm looking.
Please hold, caller.
I'm holding.
Right. Good. Boom. Right. Can you see that?
I can see it.
Okay. Cool. Right. So from the 8th, yeah. This is the wrong one.
No, that's the 12th of April.
That's all right. Get out! Oh, for God's sake! Right, wait. Good mood Monday. Keep the good mood flowing. Right, hang on. Oh, I can't see nothing tonight. What's going on with my glasses tonight?
Are they dirty?
They are dirty.
That'd be the problem then.
Hang on, right, right, here we go. Boom.
Okay.
Right, so is it shared? Can you see it as well?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, Pucker Pies. Right. So schools and firstly, I mean, if you've got kids, then schools, that's all good. But on the 8th of March, recreation or exercise outdoors with a household or one other person. We sort of already got that, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, but you can actually, what you can then do is actually meet up for somebody with one other person for like a cup of coffee outside or something.
Oh,
before it had to be you go for a walk or you go exercising with someone.
Yes. Right, Pucker. Right, so you can go out for a picnic. Perfect.
Go out for a picnic with just one other person, though.
That's fine. I can't handle too many people, so that's fine. But at least we can actually, rather than having to run through gardens and parks, we can sit in them and rest.
Yeah, Yeah, you can sit down and eat a pork pie or something while admiring the flowers.
If pork pie's your thing, then yep, that's the way to go.
Like pies earlier.
True. Right, and then that's 8th of March. Not a lot throughout March. My birthday's 11th, everyone, if anyone wants to know.
I haven't forgotten.
Yep, excuse me. Right, from the 29th,
Yeah.
Rule 6, 2 households outdoors.
Yeah.
Right, so this means that we can, and you can go anywhere in the country, right?
That's correct, yes. Because if you look on the end, it says minimize travel, no holidays. So it means you can travel about, but they don't really want you to, but they're allowing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if you fancy it. So that means that 6 people can safely meet up.
6 people can safely meet up, and they can be 6 people from 6 different households.
Right, okay.
But if you're in a family, let's say you've got a large family, 5, 6, you can only really then meet up with one other family in that group, if that makes sense.
Got you.
So you can go over the 6 people, but you've only got to be from 2 households.
So that's Pucker. That means we can go to gardens as well, right? Are these gardens open?
Yeah, so if you look at the bit next to it, it says outdoor sport and leisure facilities, which I see gardens as being part of that, will be open.
That's brilliant. That is what we want. So from the 29th of March, we could possibly go and check some gardens out with some friends.
Yes.
That is
cool. In case you haven't guessed.
Yeah, I feel that. So that's on the 29th. Then let's go on to. I feel like you're like somehow I've accidentally turned you into our news correspondent, but thanks for joining us. That's
right. I've spent all day explaining this to my wife, so I'm
brilliant. You are the perfect person then.
Yeah.
So from the 12th, is that a couple weeks later?
Yes, it's about 2 weeks later after the 29th. Yeah.
Right. So from the 12th, indoor leisure, we're not really worried about that.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing, right? So outdoor attractions such as zoos, theme parks and drive-ins from the 12th.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's going to count as gardens?
Possibly, but I think gardens are still open at the moment, or some are anyway.
Is they? Are they really?
Yeah, but I would probably class them more as outdoor attractions than the previous one.
Yeah. So it could be from the 12th.
Could be from the 12th. It could be from the 29th. It'll be certainly no later than the 12th. We'll put it like that.
Brilliant, mate. Well done. And then libraries. I mean, who uses libraries? Don't know. Community centres. Everyone's going to have a nice trim, mate. Cool.
Yeah.
All retail.
Yeah, IKEA it is.
Yeah, I mean, I need a bit of IKEA in my life right now. Outdoor hospitality and what else we got here? That's not really event. Oh right. Oh yeah, right. So then event pilots begin. Now this is the thing, right? So obviously no events going to happen before the 12th.
Yeah.
So event pilots. I think that is where they're going to test events where you get tested as you go in.
Oh right. Oh yeah. So it'd be like garden shows and the stuff. They can pilot it to see how it will work.
Yeah.
12th.
Basically.
That's how I understand that.
So we'll see how that'd be interesting to see how that goes. I remember when they did mention at one point they were going to do that with they got tested. I think Sean James Cameron will come on and say, we're going to test everyone that goes into what's we call it.
Yeah, and possibly that's not a problem. I don't think I've had enough tests done when I go into care homes.
Yeah, well, quick, isn't it?
It's pretty easy to do and pretty quick.
So that's good. A month later, indoor entertainment like cinemas. Do you remember them?
Yeah, I do. Just
then 30-person limit outdoors. Which does not really feel real, but wicked.
Yeah. That's the week of Amanda's birthday, so you can guess what I'm going to be doing all week.
Oh, wowza. Okay.
Barbecue.
Yeah, sure. Remaining outdoor entertainment, including performances.
Yeah.
And then large events, capacity limits, indoor events. Outdoor events 4,000. So we could potentially outdoor seated event. Oh, okay. So we could potentially see smaller garden shows open up from May the 17th.
Yes, looking at that, or 50%. So if they've got capacity for more, it might be like somewhere like the NEC, for example, that can handle more, but they can only have 50% of the maximum they could handle. So if let's say they can fit 10,000, they might be allowed to able 5,000 to come in.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good. Well, that's good news from May. And then finally, I mean, with this video, we're literally recording now. We could be looking back at this time and giggling to ourselves, but let's take positive.
Well, just before you go on to that day, there's one important thing you missed from the one before.
What did I miss? What was it?
The pub's open again.
Oh yeah, that is important, mate. You're right. But even more important than that, Suggs, and I know we'll be there, is the nightclubs open on the 21st.
Oh, that's me sold. That is what I'm looking forward to.
That's what I was really looking at, mate. No legal limits of social contact. Who knows, man? Like, I really hope so. That'd be cool for some.
We can hug each other from the 21st again.
Oh, I'd love a little hug, mate.
I know. Wouldn't we all?
Go on.
It feels so positive, in my opinion.
I like it, man. I like your feeling. I'll be honest with you. When I listened to it, I mean, I maybe listened to about too much of it today, but I found a little bit. But now I spoke to you.
I've built it up for you. The trouble is, it's so confusing, and the government does this with everything. The way it uses its language, it's so confusing to get your head around half the time that you don't know quite if you're doing something right or wrong.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. But yeah, exciting times, man. So, I mean, it does look like all the garden shows that we sort of being promised at the moment at September time, they're looking pretty positive.
Pretty good, pretty positive.
Yeah, and some garden visits. Which is going to be the first garden we visit, mate?
Oh, mate, there's so many to choose from. We have to put our heads together and figure some out.
We have to. That's a whole show in itself. The anticipation for the first garden visit.
Yeah, can't wait. I just cannot wait.
How's everything else, man? I know I saw you last night on the show, or on your show, so it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good show last night. Actually, if anybody out there wasn't watching, I think everyone was. We were designing a Christmas dinner bed, weren't we?
Yeah, it was good, man. I loved it. Made me excited for Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. You can have people around for Christmas this year, by the looks of it.
Favorite Christmas film, mate?
The Grinch.
Okay. Mr. Suggs, you're going into Tin to Win.
Thank you. I do know the answer to this one again as well.
Okay, well, keep it to yourself because you're pretty good at it. Do you want to put it in the private chat quickly so let me see if you know the answer?
Yeah, okay. Bear with everyone.
See this, so it's all secret. Yep. Suggs, I'll speak to you later in the week, dude.
Have a good one. Cheers, dude.
What's up, man? Bye-bye.
That's it. 1 hour left. That was 5 towels and a bell.
So, Jodie, have you got your tissues ready?
Not yet, but I think I'm going to need them.
Go and get them ready.
I will.
Waterproof masks.
I really don't. Yeah, down there.
Can I just ask, do we need any more time?
Yeah, like a whole day. What's going on here? Yeah, we need more time. Even Mickey Flanagan's getting involved.
Do we need any more time?
What? Time. Yes.
It's getting heated. This is deep, isn't it? What's she saying now?
Yep, look at it. off you go. Let's pick the speed up a bit. Please.
Yeah. They say they're going to be ready for 5:30.
No, 5:45.
5:45. 5:45. They're saying 5:45. Just make lots of cups of teas and coffees.
Not on Titchmarsh's watch. Just saying.
Somebody bring me a rake in, please! Can you just organise like a tank?
Chastain, what's double T shingle?
Just leave it! So how long have we got, guys? About 15 minutes.
This is mayhem. This is mayhem.
Is there any spare hands?
Right, let's go.
Quick! Go, let's just get rid of it. Get the plank off!
Can you move the golf truck, somebody?
No, you go that way.
It's okay. Put it on Titchmarsh's account.
Quick, out the way! We'll have to hide with the whacker. Just in there tight.
Oh no. You can't hide the whack. Not on Titchmarsh's watch. Was that Tommy Walsh running past? Did anyone see that? I think that was Tommy Walsh running past.
So what's that? Somebody's taking photographs. I've got a little present for you. I've got a little present for you. I've got a little present for you.
Don't that look pucker though? Come on. Come on. From what it was. Flipping heck.
What's this?
And I've had a few friends helping me.
Oh my god, I love Alan Titchmarsh. Where is he? I've got his books and everything. Oh my, Alan. Alan? Oh, how you doing? Nah, not him.
Do you like it? Oh, do you like it? Absolutely gorgeous.
When I get my breath back, I'll be able to say something. When I parked the truck up, I came round the corner and you were getting out the car.
I know I'm 5 minutes early, I'm sorry.
So I had to,
driving really slow.
I had to hide behind the car, and when you went in the front door, I ran through and came out the back door.
Right, Tommy, we get it. You run.
Up to 2 minutes ago,
We get it. We get it. You run. We get it.
we were working on it.
Lovely.
Oh my goodness.
I'm afraid the path's not quite finished. Oh, it's a jump there. Beautiful.
Closest ever.
I mean, we joke about it. Come on. What a transformation, huh? It's interesting you say that though, because a lot of people I mention you to obviously know you now through like well, probably through Instagram and all them sorts of things, and the podcast and that. So it's interesting that, I mean, when all the shows come back, mate, everyone will we all know each other. Everyone spoke to each other now on the podcast.
Yeah, and that's sort of like, you can't wait for that to sort of like come back, sort of like be able to go to a show, because I've been really lucky. Everybody sort of like has contacted me afterwards to say thank you and sort of be nice to catch up. And Matt's sort of like, oh, we must go for a drink, and yeah, and we've not been able to. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the first show whenever it is. It'll just be lovely to be out there and say hello to a few people.
It's going to be fun, man. Well, who have you had? I've listened to your podcast now. I can't remember who I listened to, but I texted you and said I enjoyed it. Who was you had? Tams on first, right?
Tamsin was the first one. In at
Yeah.
the deep end with the queen of podcasting.
Sure.
Then Leah Landers, the author of the Almanac. Simon Lysett, and I've just spoken to Katie Rushworth from Love Your Garden.
Wicked, man. Well,
and we had such a laugh. We really had a laugh. So I'm really looking forward. I've done the editing on that. I've just got a couple of bits and pieces to finish on that one. So I think it's 5th of March. We're gonna. What do you say with your podcast? Do you release it? Do you publish it? Do you drop it? What's the terminology?
I just say, hey guys.
It doesn't seem right saying I've just dropped one.
No. No, it doesn't mean up. But what do I say? I don't know. I just say up because it's uploaded. It's uploaded, man. How often do your podcasts come out? What's the
It's a loose sort of 3 or 4 weeks. The first one I did on the 23rd of December, and I've done 4, and the 5th one sort of at the beginning of March. So
wicked, man. I like the name as well, Mike the Gardener. It's very
somebody.
It's cool. Yes, yeah, but Mike. Yeah,
it's Mike with an M-I-C rather than M-I-K-E.
Liked it
because somebody actually said to me, "You spelled your name wrong on that," and it's like,
come on,
the picture of the microphone.
Have a day off. Oh, Mike,
but it's great. I love doing them.
What's the future, man? What's coming up for you? What's it look like?
I don't know really, Lee. That's the honest truth of it. I will continue doing the lives on a Sunday. I've got a load more chats lined up for Instagram. I've got a load more chats lined up for the podcast. I sort of suspect when we're out of the COVID, the lockdown situation, I suspect people will want to be out and about with friends, family, and loved ones. And I sort of think for a while, Instagram might take a bit of a hit.
Yeah.
I don't think people will be wanting to sit in on a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, certainly not in the summer, listening to a chat. And in the summer, will they be wanting to do sort of 10 o'clock, watching me sort of waltz around the garden? Probably not. So
you never know, mate. I mean, I'm here 5 nights a week. I hope someone will be about.
But it'll be you and I.
That's it, yeah. Just 2 people.
I guess you just sort of I haven't really thought too much about it is the honest answer, but at the back of my mind thinking that when this is over, all everybody wants to do is go out and socialize and be with friends and family. So I'll still be doing the podcast and I will still do the lives. It'll just be you watching me and me watching you.
That's fine, mate. That's all that matters, isn't it? Have you spent? Obviously, you spent a lot more time in the garden over the past year. Has it progressed much, or did you already have it to its peak before lockdown?
Well, I've only been here. It's a new garden. I've only been here 3.5, 4 years. 3 years. So it's a new garden. But I guess doing the lives, you want to sort of like show people the best possible garden that you can do. Yeah. And I find myself saying things on a Sunday, and then you have to follow it through. Because I don't want to be the one that said, I said I was going to do this, but actually I haven't. If I say I'm going to do it. And now, because I know I will follow it through, I will say things that I probably would have shelved before to force myself to do it. So, yeah, the garden sort of like has got progressively better. And this year, for as long as we're able to do them, I want it to be even better than it was last year. So there is that pressure of trying to outdo what you did last year, which we all do as gardeners anyway, I guess. You must do the same with your garden, don't you?
I do. I've made a big mistake this year of, for the past 7, however many years I've been doing this, constantly doing a big winter project. And which has kept me really busy. And I said to myself last year, even though we had lockdown and everything, so I got a lot done with the garden. I got it to peak. I thought peak. I said to myself, I'm not going to go into Christmas this year doing a project, because what happens is it always runs over. I'm always building something, probably a castle or something for my daughter. I don't know what it would have been this time. And then it comes into February. I'm still building it. And then I want to start growing my seeds. And I run out of time. So I said I wouldn't do it this year. And what I've realised is actually it's quite important that Lee has a project to do. We'll learn a lesson.
So how long have you been? How long have you been in your garden then?
I've been here for 6 years, 7 years now. So quite a long time. But it's one of them. We didn't have Olive, my daughter. She's 5, coming on 6 now. So maybe we've been here 7 years. So I designed the garden as an adult garden.
Yeah.
And then when you have a little kid running around, you realise that they like to put bits of bark and slate in their mouths and throw them around, and then everything has to change. So it's changed. I didn't realise I was going to have a castle at the end of my garden 7 years ago.
But I bet you love having a castle there, don't you? Really?
Oh, I do like it probably more than Olive does.
That's the truth of all of these projects, isn't it? You do it for the kids, but it's like, oh, actually, this would be really good.
Yeah, sure. Usually I'm like, I've built this for you, Olive. Don't touch it. It's mine.
Yeah, can I go in the castle, Daddy? No.
Yeah.
Stay away from the castle.
That's right. So yeah, man, it's strange, isn't it? It's weird. I mean, you obviously do garden design for people.
Yeah.
You think gardening TV makes people think that gardens can happen like instantly? Because one of the things I keep trying to chuck out there a lot is that it takes years and years. Like I know my mum and dad's garden. I always, when I moved to my house, I said I want my garden to look like amazing, like my dad's. But what I didn't realise is it actually took my dad like over 10 years to build his garden up to the point he's got it at.
Yeah.
You don't realise that, I don't think.
Yeah, I think they're sort of like when you first meet a client, you go through this process of explaining what the process is, how long it will take, what it will look like. You try and sort of like manage the expectations so that when the garden is first planted, they expect like these makeover Chelsea flower show type gardens. And of course, it's not going to be like that unless they have some ridiculous budget to throw at it, which invariably they don't. Because when you start talking about the cost of planting, it's like, oh gosh, that's quite so yeah. Managing expectations is I did a garden. One of the early gardens I did was for a friend of mine, and he just split up from his girlfriend, and he wanted a garden for the lads. So he wanted sleepers, a barbecue, somewhere to put the drinks, and somewhere to lie out in the sun. So did this garden with the sleepers, the gravel, the barbecue, somewhere for the drinks. It was a real sort of man's garden. And then we started talking about the plants, some really structural plants like the phormiums, the fatsias, to give it a really sort of jungly sort of feel. And we started talking about the budget, and it's like, oh, I can't do that. That's far too much. I spent this much on the garden. It's like, but that will be the finishing touches. And he said, well, we'll come back and we'll do that in a few months' time. Yeah. Well, the guy who lived next door to him was the landscaper who built the garden. And he phoned me up one day and he said, your mate Pat is planting marigolds in the garden. No, he's not. You're winding me up. And he was. These great big sleepers, and there were lines of these military spaced marigolds all around the garden. It was, and he invited me around. I said, Pat, what have you done? What's all this?
I'll do it.
It just sort of like it needed so much more, but it's like, again, expectations, budget.
Yeah, people don't. I think Tally doesn't realistically show that side of it. I don't think, because they're
not at all
incredible plants, and then when you actually go away and start tying it up for your own garden, even I know it. Like my garden, I wanted to put borders in with loads of big plants and stuff, and I can't afford to do it at the moment, mate. It's just you don't realise.
I think when you look at the cost of perennials and shrubs, and of course you want a bit of structure, maybe a sort of like a small tree or something. Yeah, it's a big moment when you sort of talk about the cost of the planting. But I always try and have that conversation very, very early on. Yeah. Because there's no point, you lead people down building the garden and then you talk about the cost of plants. And it's like, so yes, like from experience, I know that needs to be brought in really, really early.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm pretty sure do you reckon it's going to be a busy year for you? Because I feel like a garden in the world full stop is going to be more busy now. I feel like we've got more gardeners on board since last year?
I think what I'm trying to do is, well, back in August last year, I joined the Garden Media Guild because I wanted to write. I like writing. That hasn't happened because of what's happened with social media. But I want to try and take some time to concentrate on that as well. And going back to the point earlier, where's it going to go? I really haven't got a clue. It might not go anywhere, but I've had an absolute ball doing what I've done. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, try and have some time for me to do my own stuff, as well as sort of like getting out and gardening for myself and others.
Yeah, that's it, man. Well,
so you do this full time, don't you?
I'm a full-time talker, mate. I'm a full-time baller. Yeah, I do. So I always get asked a lot. I say, "Oh, do you do gardens?" I'm like, "Well, I do my own garden, and that's about it. I do like the odd show garden stuff, and bits like that, and I do a lot of children's garden and stuff, which is a big this year. I'm bringing that back this year. So yeah. I just love gardening with my daughter is the main thing, and very lucky for me when I got into this gardening world, I was thrown into children's gardening, and then my daughter come along, and it's like yes. Now
so does Olive like gardening? Does she like being out there?
No, she hates it, but I force her. No, she loves it. Like she does love it. I mean, there is a balance. Like the older she gets, like she used to be always, Daddy, let's go gardening.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yeah, we can do it, but can I just leave it for another week afterwards so we don't have to do it every single day, Dad?
Right. Yeah.
So you've got to get a balance now. But I just, and school gardening is my thing, man. Like I feel like I said to you, I got into gardening when I was 26, and I never gardened before that. And
so what about so what's on the agenda for you this year then? What can we expect from Skinny Jean Gardener?
Do you know what? More of this and the school plan, which we talked about this school plan thing on this show back in September, and I started talking about it, and it's progressed so much. Like last week, I actually managed to get out of my road because I feel like I've not left the road recently, and we started filming for this school plan that is coming out. It's a pre-order from 8th of March, mate, but then September the school plan will go into hopefully some schools, and then by 2025 we want to have a school gardening success plan in every primary school in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent.
And that's just all it is. It's just a really simple way for children to learn how to grow their own veg, know where their veg comes from, and also support wildlife. And the idea is they will get them learning at school, and then they'll go back and teach their parents what to do. That's the idea.
Wow, that's excellent. It's a big project.
Yeah, it is, man. It's a proper passion project of mine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. For wow, that's amazing.
But yeah, so it's a busy year, mate. But it's going to be fun. And same for you, I would have expected. And I think the podcast is going to be wicked. Like I listened to some of them, and they're really easy listening. Like I love them. So
thank you.
And obviously the dancing on Insta.
Well, if the gardening gig doesn't work out, maybe Strictly will come calling.
Well, there you go, mate. Or right, I love singing. Right, so I could be a singer. You could be a backing dancer. Band.
I think I'd be a better singer than I would backing dancer after sort of Sunday's exploits. That was yeah.
I mean, frontman the position has been taken, so I can't really.
So what sort of music? What sort of music do you like singing?
Oh, anything, mate, that takes my fancy. Well, singer, songwriter, all that, mate.
Brilliant. I shall listen out for you.
Listen out for it, mate. I'm sure it'll be out there somewhere. Dude, thanks so much. I cannot believe we've almost chatted for a whole hour.
I know. I have to see. Yeah, it's been a pleasure,
dude. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for asking me. You must come and have a chat with me.
Yeah, let's make it happen, dude. I've got lots to talk about, as you can see. But yeah, I really appreciate it, man. And yeah, we'll see you soon. But go listen to Mike the Gardener podcast.
Cheers, Lee. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Do that, fella. I'll speak to you soon. Yeah.
Brilliant. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.
So I got furloughed and hold on a second. I don't know. I'm just doing a joke. Wait there. So, so I got furloughed and did this to my back garden. Anyway, here's a man that kicks off our week with a positive highs, Mr. Jackson.
Good evening. How are you?
Sorry, I've got you turned down. Sorry. Hello, mate.
All right. How are you, then, mate? All right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right, man.
Great. I want to know when you're having your garden changed, like Joe's, with a sauna and a hot tub. And
Wow, funny you say that. I do want to get a hot tub, but I'm not sure if I'll get one like Joe's to enjoy the garden. But I want to get this bath. It's not going to be a copper bath, but it's just going to be a normal bath. And basically you can fill it up and it can roll around the garden, different positions.
yeah, when I was a younger man, like 20 years ago, played football, probably 30 years ago, we used to have to wash ourselves in them baths.
What, in cold baths?
Yeah.
Ooh,
no,
I'm thinking
they'd put hot water in them, and they were hung on the back door of the change room, put in the middle of the floor. That was it. No showers, man, when I was young.
Well, there you go, mate. Thank God for showers. Anyway, Mr. Jackson, how are you doing? You're right. That was tricks.
Yeah. I'm doing all right, mate. Yeah. I'm looking forward to next couple of weeks, get the kids back and get some proper stuff done. It's going to be a bit strange for a couple of weeks, but it'll be fine. Yeah, going from 10 to 32 is a bit scary, but
you were looking forward to getting the kids back?
Oh God, yeah. It's so odd. It's so, even though it's a bit noisy, it's still quiet. It's so quiet. It's horrible. So, we've got to get them back.
Yeah.
You'd end up like me if your kids don't go out to school.
I think you're probably right, mate. Although today has been the most perfect, probably the most perfect homeschool day we've ever had. Oliver's been awesome today.
What did you learn about today then?
We actually learned about what are we doing today? The wonderful world this week. So it was a good one. It meant that we could go out. Oh, actually, I didn't say it. Anyway, so we were meant to go out, find like something in the local woodland or as on our walk, and then Oliver's meant to tell us about it, right? So I thought, we'll go to our local woodland and we'll have a look. Anyway, I've been massively getting into my jogging this year, and Oliver said, "Oh, come on, Dad, we'll go jogging." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So we went jogging. 2 minutes down the road, Olive tripped up, and she caught her arm, and that was the end of the jogging experience. So tomorrow we're going to have to go out and do that.
Oh, find the signs of spring. Just get to look for the signs of spring. Slow down, man. But buds on the ash, and that's what I'm not doing tomorrow afternoon. 7 signs of spring. So that and gardening.
That's a good idea, my friend. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So paper pots again tomorrow. Get the kids to make them tomorrow, though.
Did you make 1,200 pots on your own?
Yes. That was my half term to fill my greenhouse up with anything I could find and anything that will sow. So I got sweet peas up, board beans up, lupins, foxgloves, hollyhocks, and then I potted up a load of stuff as well. So,
okay, man. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a good year.
It's got to be. It's got to be because the charities are about 30% down on this time last year, and last year was bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we're going to do the 24-hour live show for your charity this year. So
I know you are, mate. It's so much appreciated.
Don't thank us yet because we may only get about a $5 for you.
It doesn't make any difference. It's, as I said to you before, when you did it before, it's the awareness that you get out there, and that's what it's all about, really. The money comes in with the awareness, so it's great. But it's great that we'll be able to go to flower shows, and I'm quite looking forward to September when we get out there.
Yes, mate. Yes.
Which one are you going to in September, though? Chelsea or Malvern? You've got to make a decision now. Chelsea or Malvern?
Both.
You're going to do both?
Yeah, mate.
The same weekend?
A year off. No.
You're going to do 2 shows?
I'll go to Chelsea in the week, won't I, mate?
Well, Malvern's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, isn't it? Sunday.
Yeah, I'm only booked for Saturday and Sunday at Malvern, so I'll be rocking up Friday night.
Oh, that's all.
Partying with an orange juice, and then Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, good. So are we going to get any more?
Of course. I don't know if Tatton's still happening. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's still going on. I've not really been keeping track of everything at the moment. I've been a little bit lost in my own little world.
Yeah. You imagine you've been quite busy on that plan.
Yeah, there's a couple of plans going on, and both have been very busy.
Good. That's what I like to hear. keep yourself busy. Keep the money coming in.
That's it. Sure. I forgot about that. Mr. Jackson, I look forward to speaking to you later in the week, right, dude?
Oh, okay, mate. Yeah, take care.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, mate.
That's all right. Speak to you soon.
And there, everyone, you have the best bits of this week. And what a week it was. I've got to say thank you so much to Mike for coming on. I had an absolute blast with him and learned a lot about him. If you want to go and check out his podcast, do check it out. I'm on there. I'm not on there yet. I'm on his Instagram. I'm going to be on there soon, hopefully, talking about the school plan. So go give a few episodes of that a listen if you fancy it. But yeah, really great time. And thanks to everyone that called in as well. It did cheer me up. And even just editing this podcast up, I really enjoyed it. I thought, we've had a good week, man. We've had a good week. That's what it's all about. Bring on next week. Keep the positive vibes rolling, is what I say, everyone. Don't get me wrong. We will have our days. I've been there. I've had them. And that's okay. It's like, we're okay to have days like that. That's all right. Just, I always remember, this is what I was saying to someone the other day. I always remember I did, last year I did Joe Wick's plan, whatever it was, the fitness plan, right? And he said, oh, you might have a bad day eating, but don't make that a bad week eating. And sometimes I feel like that. Like if just because I have like a bad day of my head, doesn't mean I have to have the whole week like that. Maybe you have a bad day in the garden. Doesn't mean the whole week's going to be bad in the garden. Food for thought. Well, literally wasn't food for thought because Joe Wicks was telling me not to eat. So there we go. Anyway, look, guys, thanks so much for listening. Big respect to you. And I just hope you have a great weekend. Great weekend, great week, whatever you're up to, whenever you're listening. I love you. And big respects for listening to the show. I shall speak to you. On the next one. Facilia. Or Pacilia. You just read it off there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on.
Oh, I can't hear you, on. Done something wrong with the thing. Anyway, elephant poo is what I got.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Great, mate. Your signal is always terrible, but I'm good, my friend. Excuse me. You got an allotment? When I go, don't put artificial grass on top of me, all right?
you going to get composted, Lee?
Hey, Advert Lee here. Enjoyed the show? Good. You can listen to the best of episodes on the podcast every Sunday. That's right. Lee uploads it every Sunday. The best of podcast. So get out of bed, grab yourself